Great. All right. Good morning. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever it is you're going to watch the replay. If you're watching the replay, hello, glad to have you on the screen. Let's get our props together. I want you to have at least one block and a strap. We are going to do some seated poses at the end of our practice, towards the end of our practice. So if you know you'd like a blanket or something, a cushion on which to sit, grab that as well. But the two primary props that we will be actively using are a block and a strap. And before we get rolling, why don't you go ahead and unroll your strap, and then loop it together to make a loop. Belt it together, I should say, to make a loop. And I would request that this loop be approximately shoulder width. Okay, so give yourself the appropriate slack or tension as necessary. Hold the strap up, hold the loop up from across your collarbones, from process to process. It's your acromion process here, from deltoid to deltoid. So there you go. Once you have that, then you're good. You can let your strap come to rest next to your mat. And let's take a look at the latissimus dorsi. So this here big fan of a muscle that takes up, my goodness, 2/3 of your back. You're looking at your back. You're looking at the back body here. Pelvis, sit bone, right there. Okay. Shoulder blades, scapula, just to give you some, where we are, back of your spine. And so the skeleton is facing forward, facing away from the screen. So along the back of your body, you have this ginormous muscle called the latissimus dorsi. And it starts way down here in the sacrum and attaches over the bony the spine of the pelvis, the pelvic rim, back pelvic rim. There's a bucket of fascia and connective tissue connecting it to your spine. And then it wraps around from your back. It fans out and wraps around your back and then attaches right up here in the front of your shoulder. So like anterior deltoid right here. I think of this muscle like a cape, like a cloak. So when we take our arm out, like if we're I don't know, what sport do you do this in? I don't know, maybe, I don't know, tennis. I don't know. I don't do sports. I don't know what the heck. But when we take our arm out like this, or we we do the Dracula thing, we're engaging, hopefully we're engaging our latissimus dorsi to make this fanning action across our low, mid, and even almost into our upper back, and it attaches right here in the front of the shoulder. So the latissimus dorsi, we're going to focus on this today in relationship to how this muscle would help us prep for forearm balance. Now, we're not going to do forearm balance today. I mean, you're welcome to do it on your own. If that's part of your practice, something you're working towards, or you've got it. Welcome to do it on your own when class is finished or throughout the week. Of course, do what you like. But today, we're not going upside down, specifically into forearm balance. But we're going to do the preparatory action that would get us there, with particular emphasis on utilizing this latissimus dorsi muscle, considering how it fans out across the low, mid, and towards the upper back and the low thoracic region. Of course, there are a ton of other muscles and actions that need to take place to create a steady and firm foundation for this upside down pose of forearm balance, or Pincha Mayurasana, for those of you who are want to geek out on the Sanskrit. There's a lot more going on to the pose than just the latissimus dorsi. But for today's purposes, I want to just kind of really narrow in on this big, broad muscle along your back. So personally, I think the easiest way, the most tangible way for me to think about it is as a cloak. And we're broadening and also activating at the same time. And I'll talk you through that as we go. So I want you to please come to the floor. And we're going to sit in Virasana to begin. And so Virasana traditionally is knees together, feet slightly separated, and come all the way down to the floor with your bum. And that's kind of a screamer on the knees, the flexion in the knees, and also the extension in the ankles. So, we like to kind of lighten it up a little bit and not go too intense in our body right out of the gate. So sit on a block. Or maybe you've got a meditation cushion, or maybe your knees aren't happy with this at all. That's fine. Don't force them. Sit in a chair. Good. We're going to use this. We're going to use this as our seat for the first several minutes of class. So I want you to be in a place where it's comfortable, that you can stay in it. You can live with it for a bit. Good. Just taking a last check on people who might be dropping in. Okay. Good. So from Virasana, please. Ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. Good. Glance down either side, look at your toes, and maybe even use the pads of your thumbs to massage the pads of your toes and spread your toes out so you can get your pinky toe away from your fourth toe, unless you've got them taped together. Just let it be. And notice if your feet are sickling inward or if they're kind of torqued outward. See if you can adjust your feet so your toes, the balls of your feet and your toes line up with your heels, line up with your knees, kind of everything in the same plane. Mm-hmm. Great. And then anchoring down into your block through your pelvis, bring your hands to your lap. And whether you go palm up or palms down this morning is up to you. Palms up invites a sense of openness and receptivity. Palms down brings about a sense of being grounded. Just good. It's comfortable for you to close your eyes. Close your eyes. Drop into your breath, inhaling and exhaling through your nose. Gently sweep back into your posture. Sweep your awareness back through your posture, ears, shoulders, and hips in the same plane. Engage your lower abdomen, your low belly slightly. Feeling just a bit more secure in your seat. Drop your tongue away from the roof of your mouth and release your bottom teeth from your top teeth, inviting a little more space in your mouth. Good. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. Softly clasp your fingers together, very soft. And when you take your next breath in, allow your elbows to rise out to the side and up. Keep your shoulders down, please. And when you exhale, take your knuckles forward, straightening your arms, dropping your chin to your chest. Big stretch across your upper back. Spin your palms forward, and then inhaling, take your arms up overhead. Strong through your abdomen so you don't over-exaggerate your low back arch. And exhale, bring your hands back to your heart. Good. Changing the interlace of your fingers. We'll go again. Inhaling. And exhaling. Arms forward, head down. Spin your palms forward, inhale, arms up. Press up through the mound of your index fingers, and exhaling, hands return to your heart. Good, we're gonna go 2 more times on your own. Not forcing the arms up to vertical, just letting them float upward until your shoulders say that's enough. Last time. Picturing how you're bringing that cape or that cloak into each of these movements. As the arms stretch up, that cloak lengthens. And then hands to your heart. Excellent. And bring your arms down. Take your right arm straight out to the right, please. We're just gonna take it across our body. And then with your left hand or left arm, draw your right arm a little closer to your chest, and then toy around with your right shoulder. Drop it down away from your ear. Fanning the upper cloak. The upper threads of the fabric. Nice. And bring your right arm out to the right again. And then down. Take your left arm out to the left, palm faces forward, and then bring your left arm across your upper chest, and with your right hand, gently just hug it in a little closer without forcing it. And then toy around with the positioning of your left shoulder. Notice if it wants to hike up to your earlobe, and then draw it down. Good. If at any time your legs are getting annoyed with this seat, of course, feel free to change it up. Excellent. And open your left arm out to the left. And arm down. Let your shoulders roll back a couple of times. All right. Now, I'm going to turn away just so you see. We're going to bring the hands behind our back, clasp fingers together. Drop your knuckles down towards the floor, and then begin to pull your arms gently up away from your back. Bending your elbows, take your left forearm across your lower back, and then squeeze your right elbow in to meet your left elbow. And then from here, we'll take our right ear over the right shoulder. Notice if your low back begins to sway a bit more, if there's excessive extension in the low back. Anchor into your seat, draw your low belly in. You can take your chin down just a fraction, up a fraction, find that sweet spot in the left side of your neck. Good, then lift your head up and take your arms behind you, give them one more stretch. Identify which pinky is on the outside, and then release your hands. Let your shoulders roll a couple of times. All right, next side, we're going to bring the hands behind us again. Opposite pinky goes on the outside. First things first, drop the knuckles down, long through your cervical spine, and then lift the arms away from your back. Now you'll bend your elbows and sweep your hands over to your left hip or left waist, taking your right forearm across your lower back, and then squeeze your left forearm in towards your back, in towards your right arm. And now we can take the left ear over the left shoulder. We're getting a little rowdy up at Dee's out. Oh my goodness. Up in Dee's corner. That's hilarious. Chin down, chin up. Great. Okay, lift your head. Take your arms back behind you. Big stretch through your anterior deltoids and your pectoralis. And then release your arms down by your sides. Bring your shoulders up to your ears. Big squeeze. Inhale. And when you exhale, drop them. I'm going to do that 2 more times. Breathing in. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And exhale. Good. Uno más, por favor. You don't have to make that wheezing sound. And then down you go. Great. Bring your left fingertips to the floor, please, about maybe 6 or 8 inches away from your left knee. Sweep your right arm up. Bring it a little in front of your right ear. So it's not trying to go behind your ear, but a little in front of your right ear so you can see it out of the corner of your eye. And let's side bend over to the left. And drop into your right sit bone, please. Really anchor through your sit bones, your thighs, those heavy femur bones, and your shins. And then lift up and out of your low back, lifting your cape up. And then rise up to vertical. Float your right arm down. Bring your right fingertips to the floor, and then left arm comes up a little bit in front of your left ear, and voila, we're going to side bend, considering how we're going to lengthen and bring more expansiveness and more mobility to this cape on the right side. A couple more breaths. If you press into your fingertips and kind of lean into your left hip, and then reach out of your left lower back to take your arm over, because that's where it all starts, is in your low back, and come up to vertical. Great. And float your arm down. Well done. Onto your hands and your knees, please. Have your block up at the top of your mat. We'll come to it again in a moment. Come on to tabletop, into tabletop shape. And we'll revisit scap press. Most of y'all know how much I like this. So with straight arms, as you breathe in, you'll squeeze your shoulder blades, draw your shoulder blades towards your spine. And as you breathe out, you'll broaden your shoulder blades away from your spine. So there's a little bit of a dip in your upper chest. However, I want to emphasize that the low back doesn't have anything to do with this. This isn't a cat-cow. It's very much isolated in the upper back and the upper thoracic, hugging in the shoulder blades to the spine, and then doming just your upper back as you draw the shoulder blades away from your spine, hugging in, just assessing scapula mobility. A couple more times. Good. Hey, Pupper. Good. Drop back into child's pose, please. Balasana. So the best way to stretch and bring expansiveness to the latissimus dorsi is to move laterally. It is for side bends. And we've been doing a lot of those in the practice lately, and I hope that you're enjoying them, because I can't seem to get enough. And we'll be doing a lot more today. So let's take our balasana child's pose over to the left. You're going to keep your hips on your heels, or at least hovering over your heels. Sweep your arms left, your trunk to the left. Yeah, and then press your left fingertips into the floor. just beyond your left knee, maybe about 6 inches from your left knee. So again, you can lean into your right hip. I want you to lean into your right rib cage. But now visualizing that cloak sweeping like Count Dracula, sweeping your cloak out of your right lower back and reaching your right hand to the top left corner of your sticky mat. Excellent. As you're ready, make your way through center. Do you want to give yourself a breath or two at center to just kind of pause and regroup? And then you'll take your cloak and sweep your arms and trunk over to the right. Having that strong visual of the cape hanging down your back and you taking one end of it and then draping it up and over. I really want to hit home that this muscle starts so low in the back. I mean, pretty much as low as it gets. Press your right fingertips into the floor. You lean into your left hip, lean into your left rib basket. Good. Bring yourself back to center, please. Excellent. Just classic child's pose. 2 or 3 breaths. Excellent. And begin to transition your way to Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog, please. Side body's already awake. The shoulders are getting there. A decent bit of mobility happening already in the shoulder girdle. Great. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog. You can always be on hands and knees. Good. And take your heels to one side and pause. Give yourself an opportunity to stretch through your side waist, your outer hip. And take your heels to the other side and pause. Come back to center. Excellent. I'm going to have you bring your right knee down, please. Keep your left leg straight. Spin your left heel down. And then you're going to spin or pivot rather on your right knee. Take your right shin and foot out to the right behind you. Bring your block underneath your right hand. I'm going to go on my second height. I'm going to recommend at least the second height, if not the tallest. And then lift yourself up so that you can place your left hand to your left waist. And here we are prepping for Parigasana, gate pose. So first things first, left leg straight, hug the floor with all 4 corners of your left foot. See that your right knee is underneath your right hip. Good. Belly slightly firm. Excellent. Take your left fingertips to your shoulder, please, left shoulder, and let's make 3 big sweeping circles with our elbow. 3 circles going in one direction, and then 3 circles moving in the other direction. Notice what you hear, any snap, crackle, popping. And then after those 3 circles, you'll take your left arm straight up, finding the vertical line, turn your left palm to face the wall beyond your head, and then sweep your left arm over your left ear. And again, I'm going to invite you to keep your left arm slightly in front of your ear. Good. Reach up and over, reach, reach, reach. Anchor into your foot. Good. Reach through your outer hip, reach through your low back, your mid back, your side waist. Excellent. Bring your left arm up to vertical once more, please. You're going to grab your block, bring it with you, lift your trunk up to vertical, arms up overhead. Take the block into your left hand. Set the block to the outside of your left knee. Still going to have your hand on it. And now we're going to side bend over to the left. Allow the block to slide down your outer leg just until it's about finished, until your body says, that's enough. Good, and reach your right arm up and over. Yes, good, great. Really nice alignment, everyone, beautiful. Good, bring your block with you, lift your trunk up, find the vertical line, bring your left arm up, take the block into your right hand. Now you can set the block onto the floor, bring both hands to the floor, and make your way back to downward dog. Take your time in the transition. Square your hips, downward dog. Just for a breath, we're going to go right into the other side. Excellent. Bring your left knee to the floor, please. Spin your right heel down. And then swing your left foot behind you. It's like a kickstand. Yeah, the block's going underneath your left hand. Right fingertips come to your right shoulder. And here we go, 3 circles in one direction. They can be as big or as small as you choose. Shake it up a little bit. 3 circles in another direction. Good, listen, feel. And then you'll take your right arm straight up, find that vertical line with your right arm, turn your arm. That's an external rotation. Turn your right arm so your palm faces the wall behind your head. Then you can sweep your right arm over your right ear. Maybe go a little in front of your ear, like almost by your cheek. So you can get a good visual of your arm out of the periphery, your peripheral version. Good. What's happening in your lower back? Now, so think about this for a second. If you engage your belly and kind of lengthen your low back a little bit, your latissimus dorsi has no choice but to lengthen down there as well. Good. Bring your right arm up to vertical once more, please. Now bring your block with you as you lift yourself upright. Little ab experience for you there. Take the block into your right hand. You'll set your block just to the outside of your right leg, knee or thigh. And then your left arm comes up and over and you side bend to the right. Allow your block to slide down your outer leg. Yeah, great. Good. Strong through your belly, strong through your low back. And drape that cloak up and over. Let's go one more breath. Terrific. Bring your trunk up to vertical first. Then with your block, take your right arm up. Take the block into your left hand. Now you can sweep your left arm down, set the block to the floor. Bring both hands to the floor. Square your legs and hips so you can make your way to downward facing dog. Great. Good. Okay. Begin to walk your feet to your hands. Take your time, baby steps, little moving meditation, coming all the way up to the top of your sticky mat. Yes, good, great. Once you get to the top of your mat, bring your hands to your waist. Draw your elbows together towards one another above your back, and then inhale, rise all the way up to standing. Anchor into the 4 corners of your feet until you can straighten your legs. Bring your arms down to your sides. Open your palms to face away from your body. And here we are in Tadasana, mountain pose, just as we did when we were seated at the beginning of the practice, ears, shoulders, and hips in a plane. Same plane, plumb line. All right. Bring your arms out in front of you, please. Hook your thumbs, spread your fingers. As you inhale, sweep your arms up. If it's okay on your neck, you can take your head back and look up, reach up, reach up, reach up. And then when you exhale, soften your knees, please. Fold forward, bring your arms behind your back, clasp your fingers together, and take your knuckles to the ceiling. Gently shake your head, no. Softly nod your head, yes. Great. Fingertips to the floor, please. Step your right foot back, big step towards the back of your sticky mat and spin your right heel down. Take your block into your right hand, please. And you're going to pull up through your block, coming into warrior two. Block in your right hand. Good. So pause, adjust your stance as you need to. Now, considering wrapping this cloak, especially the right side cloak, take the block out in front. Reach the block to your left hand. Rather than reaching your left hand to the block, take the block to your left hand and then open your right arm into warrior two again, empty-handed. And now we're going to sweep the cloak forward, reach for the block, grab the block, and then open to warrior two again now with the block in your right hand. Good. We're going to do that 2 more times for a total of 3. Be mindful of your stance. Keep your lower body stable and steady, firm and steadfast. This movement is really about that right side, the right half of the latissimus dorsi. Move it, work it. Keep your left arm static over your left leg. Yep. Right side of your body does the movement. Right arm does the moving. Good. So you're going to do that 3 times. And you're going to end with the block in your right hand, warrior two. Take the block to the outside of your right knee. Oh gosh, we were just here. Yeah, I know. So take your left arm up, begin to slide your block down the outer right leg towards your ankle, coming into exalted warrior, sometimes called grateful warrior, sometimes called reverse warrior. Call it what you like. It feels really good. Strong in your back leg, push your right leg into the block. Yeah, and a little deeper flexion in your front leg if it's appropriate. Yeah, excellent side bend. Good, 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 good. All right, bring your block with you. Rise up, both arms up rather. Change hands with your block. Block comes down to the floor. Okay, check it out. We're going to come into a low lunge. Pivot up onto the ball of your back foot and bring your right knee down to the floor. Okay. Take the block into your right hand. Walk it over to the right slightly. And then listen, I want you to spin your left toes to the left about 45 degrees. Okay. From here, option 1, keep your right hand on the block and just start to inch your left fingertips onto the floor beyond the top right corner of your mat. Okay, so I'm pulling my left hand, my left arm away from my left knee. Reach, 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 like you're trying to grab a pen that's just beyond your mat. Option number 2 is to come down onto your right forearm. Put it on your block and reach. Oh, go, reach that left arm. Reach your left fingertips. Inch, inch, inch. And if you're on carpet, you can kind of dig your left fingertips into the carpet for a little traction. Now draw your left knee away from your left arm. Excellent. Yeah, this is a weird one, I know. Okay, bring your left hand to your mat. Right hand to your block, lift up. Square your left toes. 1 more in low lunge. Take your block into your left hand. Bring it to the floor just beyond your left hip. Okay. Right arm up and over. Big side bend. Over to the left. Good. Reach over to the left. Good. Now for this one, I use my block on the tallest height. I just like the accessibility that it gives to me. You do you. Yeah, knee padding is a great idea. Straighten your arm for me, brother. Great. And then pull yourself upright, please. Up to vertical. You leave the block where it is. And then you can bring your hands to the floor. Yeah, baby. Step back to downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Great. We're going to do that same sequence on the other side in just a moment. Good. If you want to take a vinyasa, that's totally up to you. You would come forward on the in-breath. Lower your body down slowly as you exhale. Good. Come up into your back bend, cobra, locust, up dog, the extension of your choice, and then we'll all meet in downward facing dog. The little in-between flow is optional. From downward dog, I'm going to have you migrate your feet to the top of your mat again. I'm going to do this sequence on the other side. Nice hop. That was great. Good. Bring your hands to your waist. And then anchoring through your feet and legs, inhale, rise all the way up to standing. Bring your arms out in front, hook your thumbs, spread your fingers. And then on your next breath in, we're ready to roll. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward, soft knees, hands behind your back, clasp your fingers together, knuckles up and over. Fingertips come to the floor, step your left foot back, big step towards the back of your sticky mat. You're going to take the block in your left hand, warrior two. Inhale, pull yourself up. Block in your left hand, take a second, take a hot minute, adjust your stance as necessary, and then go when you're ready. Bring your left arm forward, bring your block to your right hand. Don't move your right hand to the block if you can, and then open your left arm back empty-handed. Great. And then sweep your cloak forward, grab your block again, and open your arm up. That was one. Two more times, please. Good. I want to make this more about that big draping muscle across your back than just about bringing your shoulder forward and back. We can put a little more awareness and integrity in the movement. And that'll help us prep for the forearms to come. And as you finish up, number three, you'll end with the block in your left hand. Set your block to the outer left leg. Don't rush, just so you know where we're going. And then the right arm can go straight up. And then as you like, you can start to side bend. So we've got the block at the outer left leg. Right arm is up, coming into exalted warrior. Peaceful warrior. Good. That's it. Great. Wonderful. Good. Begin to windmill your hands to the floor with your block underneath your left hand. Come up onto the ball of your back foot so you can set your knee down, coming into a low lunge. Right, so here we are in this kind of wonky side bend, low lunge combo. You're going to spin your right toes about 45 degrees to the right. You can keep your left hand to the block as you kind of fold forward and reach your right arm up to the top left corner of your mat. And then, the other option is to bring your left forearm to your block and begin walking your right fingertips just beyond the top left corner of your mat. Wherever you go, the idea is the right knee is moving away from the right hand. Big stretch through the right trunk. Good. Bring yourself back to center, please. And now you'll lift up, bring the block with you, set the block to the outside of your right hip. And I like to be on the tall heights. Left arm up and over, big side bend, big sweeping of the cloak. Good. You can leave your block where it is. Come back up, arms up, and hands come to the floor. And now you can slide the block up just to the top of your mat and step back to Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. From downward dog, I'll have you come forward to staff pose, staff, plank, staff, and then all the way down to your belly, please. Come up onto your forearms like you're coming into Sphinx pose. Okay, and then listen, we're gonna do a stretch for the anterior upper chest, the anterior deltoid and the pecs. So what I'm gonna have you do is, listen closely, I'm gonna have you shift your right forearm forward on the floor. So just gonna take your right forearm up a bit and slide it out off of your sticky mat. Okay, so I'm almost like in a cactus shape with my right arm, but my elbow and my shoulder are not in the same plane. Okay. Now from here, pivot on your right elbow and take your right hand out to the right about 45 degrees. All right, you can watch if you need to. I'm on the floor. And from here, press your left hand into the floor. It's about even with your chest. And you're going to roll onto your outer right hip. But now listen, a lot of times we do this like in deep stretch classes where we just take the right arm straight out and we just roll onto the front of the right shoulder, like so. What I'm asking you to do today is keep more bend in your elbow so that you only come about halfway over. Because from here, I want you to press your right hand into the floor, really push the floor away from you, and check in with how that activates your shoulder while we're stretching it at the same time. It activates the musculature around your shoulder girdle. At the same time we're stretching, pull your shoulder away from the floor and bring your shoulder blade down your back. So this should be a pretty active stance. Your elbow stays bent, press into the floor with your hand. Okay, great, good. Return to your belly, please. And we'll see if we can make that make sense on the other side. So left arm, slide it out like cactus, forearm to the floor. And then we're going to take the forearm up slightly. So it's not a perfect 90 degree in the shoulder. Good. Pivot on your left elbow, take your left forearm and your left hand about 45 degrees out to the left. Now you can press your right hand into the floor, roll to the outer left hip. That's as far as you need to go. I mean, you might, go a little forward, a little back, find that sweet spot. But here, press your left hand into the floor, pull your left shoulder away from the floor, and draw your left shoulder blade down your back. So 3 major actions: press left hand into the floor, lift left shoulder away from the floor, and then left scapula slides down your back. Okie dokie. Return to your belly, please. Woo-wee. Bring your hands behind your back, clasp your fingers together. Let's come into a variation of locust pose. Breathing in, pull your knuckles to your heels, lift your head, your chin, your chest. Lift your feet, your knees, your thighs. Just come on up, rock on your belly. Good, change the interlace of your fingers, and let's go one more big breath. Lift, lift, lift. Up you go, and then lower down. Woo-wee. Well done. Come up onto your hands and your knees, please. Grab your strap. You thought I'd forgotten about your strap. Silly. So check it out. Your strap is ready to roll. You're going to slide your arms through your strap until your strap is right above your elbows. I want you to be able to bend your elbow and kind of hook that strap right into the elbow crease. Okay. Bring your hands to the floor like you're going to come into downward facing dog. And guess what? We're going to come into downward facing dog. So here we go. Tuck your toes, lift off. You can let your forehead rest on your strap. That's fine. Or you can look out towards your thumbs. Good. Reach your heels to the back of your sticky mat. Take your hips high. And then with your arms, push against the strap. Pressurize your arms against the strap. Yeah, pressurize your arms against the strap. We've got a loop in the strap. It's about shoulder width apart. Yeah, good. And then down you go. Come to your knees, please. Okay. Come to your forearms. Slide your block onto your mat so that you can put your palms on the floor on either side of your block and just have your thumbs. This is a little weird. I can't do it really here. Just have your thumbs at the edge of your block. Spread your palms out onto your sticky mat. Thumbs at the edge of your block. Notice if your elbows want to splay outward. Okay, let's see what we've got. Tuck your toes and lift off. Knees up, hips up. Don't walk your feet forward. We're not going to go there. I just want you to come into this version of dolphin pose or forearm dog and just check in with your strap. The tension on your strap. Notice how badly or not your elbows want to fly apart from one another. Just check in. And then come to your knees once again, please. Beautiful. Good. Now keep your setup or your arms and your strap. I want you to make your way over to a wall. You don't need your mat. You can if you'd like. They're not necessary. I'm going to do just a couple of things at the wall and then come back. Okay. Where do I have a wall? I don't really have a wall. I kind of have a wall. Okay, I'll try this. Okay. Block goes all the way up to the baseboard, please. And let's do that same action. Down onto the forearms, just the tips of your thumbs at the corners of your block, palms down. When you're ready, lift your knees, lift your hips, coming into forearm dog or dolphin pose. We'll just stay 1 or 2 breaths. And then down to your knees, please. Okay. Lose your strap. Now, this next shape, we're just going to do just these 2 preps, the one we just did, and then this next one. So this next shape, same idea. However, what I'm going to ask you to do is forearms down, palms all the way to the baseboard on either side of your block, palms to the baseboard, and then spin your fingers away from your blocks. What this is going to do is invite this significant external rotation in your upper arm, which voila, there's the attachment of your cape. There's the attachment of your what's it called? What are we doing? Yeah, latissimus dorsi. So here you go. You take your palms all the way to the baseboard. Pressurize your palms into the baseboard, spin your fingers away from your block so your pinkies are on the floor, and then tuck your toes, lift your knees, lift your hips. Don't walk your feet in. We're not going for any sort of we're not going to kick up or anything here. I just want you to sense, ooh, the power in your upper back, the length through your mid back and your side waist. And now you've got this leverage where you can press into the wall, press into the wall to take your hips up. Good. Pinkies down to find that external rotation. Let's go 1 more breath. Ooh, mama. Great. Knees come down, please. Ay vey. Child's pose. Mm-hmm. If you want to migrate your way back to your mat, you can, or if your mat's at the wall, you just stay right there. Where we're going to go next is thread the needle. So you know this one. You can stay low in child's pose and sweep your right arm between your left knee and left hand. Keep your head to the floor. That's fine. Or you can lift your hips. Your call. Oh. Mm-hmm. Okay, I want you to take your time transitioning and glide your way into the other side. Super good, y'all. Dynamic practice. Great. Slow down the exhale. Bring the parasympathetic nervous system into the picture. Mm. Mm-hmm. And come back to child's pose. And walk yourself upright so you can have a seat on your bum. We're going to sit for about 2 minutes. So if you'd like to be on a cushion or a blanket or a pad, grab your props that you like. Extend your legs forward. Coming into Paschimottanasana, intense stretch of the west side. West side. You are welcome to use your strap. We're going to be here for 2 full minutes. Loop your strap around the balls of your feet. I want you to breathe in deeply and just with your breath, lift your cape up out of your lower back. And as you exhale, begin to come forward. Walk your hands down your strap, your legs. Grab a hold of the parts and pieces that come easily to you. You can give yourself a little challenge, but don't push it, don't force it. And here we go. I'm setting the clock. 2 minutes in Paschimottanasana. Having the knees bent is a really sweet way to, quite a sweet way to allow your belly to come to your thighs. Great. And then you can, you can keep your head lifted, kind of make this a bit more active and dynamic. And consider, rather than the mantra, must get head to knees, consider the mantra of, I want to get my heart to my knees. Or another opportunity for you would be to simply allow your head to drop forward. Maybe even set your head on your block or put a bolster under your head. And invite this to become a passive forward bend. And toggle your mandible back and forth a couple of times. And releasing your bottom teeth away from your top teeth. So your tongue has ample space to just spread out and be at ease. Last 10 or 15 seconds. And slowly begin to walk your hands up the sides of either legs of your legs until you can lift yourself up to sitting, and then keep going. Let your knees bend and roll slowly onto your back. Oh yeah, yo yeah, roll slow. All the way down to your back. And when you get onto your back, bring your right knee into your chest. Let's twist over to the left. Take your right arm out to the right, please. And then over to the left you go. Great. And come back through center. One more hug for your right leg. And then you'll change sides, left knee to your chest. Stretch your right leg down onto the floor. A little compression into your left gut, into the descending colon. And then we'll twist. Guide your left knee over to the right. You're going to stay a bit longer. Maybe another 10 or 15 seconds. Maybe 2 breaths, 3 breaths more. And return to your back. And bring your right knee in to meet your left knee and wrap your cape around your legs. Just wrap your arms around your legs, drape that cloak around your legs. If it feels good to rock, rock. If it feels good to roll, roll. If it feels good to just be still, be still. Great. And now we'll get ourselves geared up for Shavasana. We've got a good 8+ minutes of rest ahead of us. Of course, you're welcome to take longer. I'll cue you when we're rising up. You know, if you've got a wall handy and you want to take your legs up the wall, terrific. Or just come down, take classic Shava on your back. You want to crawl up into bed or onto a sofa, you know, tilt back in the lazy boy. Do what you like. Do what feels best on your body on this day. Good. And then while we're in Shavasana, I'll have you take the first maybe 4 or 5 minutes of this time to really tap into parasympathetic, you know, wake up vagus nerve a bit. Just lengthening your exhale really is I think one of the simplest ways to create this. So you find a rhythm that suits you, maybe breathing in and out for a count of 3 or 4, 5, if that suits you. And then over the course of the next several breaths, you begin lengthening your out breaths with each breath until eventually you land in a ratio rhythm where you're exhaling for twice as long as you inhale. Bringing balance to the solar, fiery qualities of our practice today. Even though it was a slow flow, we asked a lot of our muscles. We'll balance that with the lunar qualities of a slow, sweet breath. And begin to deepen your breath. If you'd like to stay in your Shava shape for another 5, 10, however long you have, please, of course, do. And the rest of us will start moving fingers and toes, hands and feet. Stretch through your arms and your legs in whatever direction, shape that feels good and that your space allows. And then bend your knees and set your feet onto the floor. And take a moment to visualize how you're going to come to sitting. What's that look like? Which direction? And then you'll make it so. Perhaps rolling over to your favorite side and really languid-like bring yourself up. Maybe your head can come up last. And then once you find the seat that's appropriate for your body, bring your hands to your heart. And we'll take it out with one round of the Gayatri mantra. No pressure ever to join in, but I'll warble through it the best I can. Take a breath in. Om Bhurbuva Swaha Tat Savitur Varinyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Good. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring the base of your thumbs to your forehead, please. May we experience both strength and compassion in our mind this week. And bring your fingertips to your lips. May we have both strength and compassion in our words this week. And then finally, we'll rest our hands at our hearts. May we have both strength and compassion in our hearts this week. Thanks for joining me. Great practice, everyone. Let's stop.